Well, it's been a while with one of these, and we'll get into this Ranger here. We're going to be getting rid of our little Bluetooth speaker, you know, because it's fun with this anyways, and doing a little bit of a solution on a not $2,000 ride command setup. But we're using a ride command part, and we'll be using the HUD anyways, and then we're going to be doing an Android radio in it with a standalone GPS, which that's one thing that the ride command didn't used to have on the older models, at least that I know of, and a backup camera, because I've been doing a lot of plowing with this, and you can't see nothing when you're backing up with the glare on the back window and stuff. So first thing we got to do anyhow is come over here, sit on some dog prints, get rid of this Bluetooth speaker permanently, and you're just going to pull these clips, which everything's always fun when you're trying to hold a camera. These two clips here, I started working on a radio setup for this before, but so wiring's already in here, which is cool. So you just pull those two clips and pull it back, and bam. So I've already got my powers and grounds here. But the ride command HUD, as we walk back and forth 30 times, because I didn't bring it with me, is as simple as coming over here. Once you get it all set up, it's gonna slide back in. Yeah, make me a liar. Get caught, not slide in. The camera shuts off. But there's two little tabs on there. They go in, you slide in. Once you get it in those tabs properly, you put the clips back in, and that's on there. So we're going to work on getting this mounted. So the Android radios, these Chinese Android radios, are not double-din radios. So they're a little bit wider. Anyhow, so we're going to have to come in and trim this over. But these actually cut really easy with a razor blade, I know, because putting switches in the dash. So let me get this trimmed up and whatnot, and we'll work on making a bracket for the radio to actually stay in. But for the most part, if I can hold this, not drop things, all that stuff. Height-wise, it's perfect. So we just got to get it in there, and then we're going to make a little aluminum bezel that covers up the ride command buttons, because we'll have a touchscreen anyways. So let me get to it. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Changed the plan on the radio. Used a different one because the other one won't let me install a ride command. So had to trim this out a good amount on both sides, and then on the back, just took the frame brackets that came with it, ran 2 holes and 2 M6 bolts through the back. So pretty much that's that with that, other than I was going to make it a little plate here. Well, I was originally going to do a whole aluminum plate, but the bandsaw broke while I was doing it. So I'll be making a plate for that later. And Mike's working on running the camera wiring, which we have to get back underneath the bed and power back with the reverse light. We may have to run a relay on that, but for now we got to get that back there. I have to drill a hole here. Actually, no, there's already a hole. So I got to run the speaker wiring up there. And then for this is all wired up other than the speaker wire. And I am going to be taking the illumination and going over to the headlight switch, grabbing that so this thing will dim on and off so we're not getting blasted in the face. So let me run the wires on this, get that hooked up, and then we'll get the radio actually in here, and we should be able to power it up even though the camera's not done yet. So let me get to it. All right, before I forget, and we're back here, so like I was talking about a dimmer on the headlights for the radio, and of course it's gone. Let me find it. Right here. All right, so there's your headlight switch. That's the bottom. So when you turn it on, this white wire right here will give you 12 volts, and that'll dim the radio for you. So let me get these connectors on this and ran over, and we'll get right back. All right, as expected, like I was saying, we're gonna need a relay for the backup camera, but we got this all in. Still got to mount the speakers, But right now we're wiring up a relay to the camera because apparently the backup light is hot all the time, so it's using a negative trigger to turn it on. So we're going with the relay on your 87 and 30 looped to power to the light, and then what was it, 87A, or not 87, 85 is your trigger for your ground, and then 87 on the relay is the camera wire to power. So we're gonna finish that up right now, get that in there. So anyhow, like I said, I showed you the wire for the dimmer switch on the radio. So the radio is gonna come right on. It's gonna load into its regular thing. I also have Apple CarPlay, but also, like I said, Polaris Ride Command, you can download it. That's gonna go into CarPlay on me right now. Probably shut my camera off, but I can hit the home button and get out of here. All right, well, I was trying to show you how the radio worked, and my Bluetooth connected and took over my microphone. So we're 100% finishing this relay, and we're going to test it right now. He's shrink tubing it. It's dangling. We're just going to mount it up there until we get a weather pack, but we're just making sure it works. So we'll see if it works on camera here. He's going to plug it in, and then we're going to hop up there. I shut my Bluetooth off this time, so it shouldn't take over my camera and everything else. I don't know if he's fighting to get that plugged in, or probably it's not in the most convenient spot. Nothing is on these things. It looks like it's plugged in. So
it didn't latch, but I think it
didn't latch. We'll have to mess with that a little bit. Well, let's see if it works, or if we have to mess with latches and stuff like that and run around this thing. I could have just slid across the seat, but then I would have tripped over tools. So, key on, radio on, right into the camera. So, I guess we have to figure something else out, or we got to flip some poles around. Let me get back there and see what's going on, because something's not right. That shouldn't be powered at all the time. So we get that. Oh, that's why. This one right here, Mike, got to go there, and then that one's got to go there. Or like, yeah. You got those two reversed. That's why. So it's actually powering it through the relay.
So this one here?
No, this one, ground, has to go over here. See that shut off when you did it? So, in worst case scenario, if the relay doesn't like that, then we have to flip the power in that one. So, let's try this again. Because these like to latch the light on for a while. So, keys on. All right, let's go into reverse. Oh, we got it. That's all it was. Mike, see? He's up and down hiding. Then put it back in the park. Back to the radio. Reverse, we get the camera again. And then all your normal. Back into reverse cam. Nice and fast too. So now, won't crash into stuff when we back up. Well, I don't crash into stuff, but someone else does. She's crashed into a lot of stuff. So, I'll have to get my other camera so I can show you the Apple CarPlay and stuff on that. But where I was going is you have all your apps. We should be connected to Wi-Fi now. And you can go into the Play Store and download all kinds of apps like Onyx Off-Road and all that stuff. The Polaris app, it takes a little bit to load up initially, but once it's loaded up, it goes into your regular ride command like you would have on your tablet or you download on your phone. That way you don't have to have your phone up in the cubby hole, whatever. So you can get away with that. It's going to load up like normal. It's just, you know, you should start your machine up and let it warm up and whatever. You're good anyways. There it is. So this is actually, I've used it on my phone, so we're all loaded up like normal, and then you can just go to your maps. And the best thing to do is while you have service, before you get in the middle of nowhere, is let your maps load up. And the best thing to do with that is, because it loads like partially, zoom way out wherever you're going to go on your trip. Especially if you're going to go on a long trip, zoom way out, let this load all your maps up. So like we end up riding way up in here. So, you know, get it all loaded up, let it do its thing. And then you have your maps loaded, and then you can do your group rides, all that happy stuff if you want. But like once it's loaded up, you can see it's good and quick. It just, the initial load up takes a little bit. So then you always have your home button. You can play your regular Bluetooth, whatever. And I mean, every one of these Android radios is completely different. So this is just a max speeding rods basic one. They have two different ones. There's one with like HDMI and all that stuff. So there's really a little overkill. I mean, this is overkill anyways for whatever. But like I said, the dimmers, I'm blind here now, dims the radio so you're not blind. Shut the lights off, it goes back to normal. Dims again, turns black. But you can also come in here and you can basically turn the screen all the way down, whatever. Oh, or connect to Wi-Fi. You can actually, there's a deal in here, you can actually shut the screen right off too. And then, you know, you've got your settings. It's basically an Android tablet for the most part. So you can download apps, games, you know, like we were making fun, said, oh, we can download Solitaire. So when we're stuck in the woods and can't get out again, you know, play some games on it, I guess. But let us button up some stuff. We got to still make plates for the speakers. We got 6x8s that should fit in there, and we'll get to that and then we'll be back. All right, I was trying to finish up this video and show you the speaker install, but things happen. Yeah, so timing chain and stuff on that. 5th axle on this and 20 miles and still working on the Corvette. So the biggest thing is they've got the pockets in the dash. Just did a little bit of CAD, some cardboard, well, media board, whatever. Basically cut that shape out and then laid this over it. And basically the 6x8s fit. I'm going to go out there and show you. Unfortunately, they didn't come with speaker covers, so I have to get some speaker covers and a little bit new hardware for it. But as you can see, basically you just trim that out, whatever. And then, let's see, we'll go out and pull this thing out and show you exactly where I ended up. But like I said, the 6x8s do fit, so you're not stuck with like little 6-inch speakers or whatever. It's probably going to get dark in here. So, well, yeah, you can see. Either way, basically the 6x8s fit fine. Like I said, I didn't have any grills that came with the speakers, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. So this wants to pop out not having a grill on it, because these speakers, I guess, are made for OEM replacements. They're just Pioneer 6x8s, like 400 watt RMS. So basically just trim that out. They already had pre-stung basically spots to put the factory speakers in, and that's all it was. And then just run it up and hook it up. I still got to make a little aluminum piece here, which, I mean, I can actually put a couple more rocker switches in here after I make the aluminum piece, but for the most part it all fits good. GPS antennas there, and the brackets I just had to flip around and they lined up on here. I don't know if I showed it or not. And then they already had screw holes in here, so it actually worked out good. And then just ran some M6 bolts through there. So pretty simple install for the most part, and they don't really protrude at all. I don't know how well I can get a good deal on here, but I'll get grills for them, put them on, whatever, and that's done. And I'm pretty sure I showed where the camera mounted right there. And like I said, you got to do the relay and stuff like that. My seat's wet because I left this thing outside, but I'll show you when it's been off a while. It reboots. you can put your own loading screens on these or whatever you want and all that good stuff. I mean, it's pretty much fully customizable, and my phone is actually going to probably take over. So let me throw that in reverse, and you can see, I can see the sides of the bed, all that stuff. Throw it back in. The radio's still loading, but even when it's loading, the backup camera works. So that's that. Pretty simple. Saves a lot of money, because I think that the radio itself, like $175, and then I think I spent $69 on the hood for the ride command. I had a couple pieces of aluminum signs laying around, and the speakers were like $70, maybe something like that. So yeah, that's that. So I hope that helped a lot of you guys out. Save some money for people. The backup camera's awesome. I've already had it back in the woods, and my mirror broke and stuff like that, and then you get glare on this back window and you can't see out of the damn thing anyway. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'm at a loss for words here. So, and thanks for watching, guys.